because he makes the live and their video or whatever, and then it just creates a bunch of shorts that he can put on YouTube.
And that's dope.
Yeah, it's automatic. And I imagine you'll be interviewed more and more in the future because this let's start it off like this. I already hit record. I sneaked it in on y'all. But
you get it? I saw it.
Sneaky.
So
yeah, I know. Popped up.
didn't really sneak that much, right?
Surprise.
Well, I have that powerful intro sometimes, and that'll freaking take everyone in the convo off guard sometimes, and then they're like, what the hell? And then it's like dead crickets after the intro plays, and it's like, oh man, that could be awkward. But yes, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode, American Bodybuilding Network. I'm your host, Steve Blackman. Joining me as my co-host, I have my wife, ifbb Pro Nikki King, now Nikki Blackman. And you'll also see ifbb Pro Auntie Cocolicious.
Hello.
And our special guest today, we have Eric Johnson, NPC bodybuilder. Welcome everybody. So yeah, so I'm so glad that you took time to come and talk to me, man, because I know you train a lot, and I see you in absolute recomp all the time. When I was going there, I saw you there all day long, like every day. So
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Come home.
Yeah, well, it's funny. A long time ago, and we're gonna get into your early years of lifting and stuff first, and then we'll just let the conversation take off. But a long time ago, I moved to Weatherford. And Nikki went to the Weatherford Fitness Gym right there in town. And so I started going there every day, and you were there every day. Every day I went there, you were training, and I was like, he's doing something. I was like, he's so close to doing a show. And then 2 years later, normally when I go and I see a guy that's competing, they're never any bigger. And I was like, holy shit, this guy has grown. I was like, I got to go talk to this dude. So, yeah, man. So anyway, Eric, tell us a little bit about yourself. When did athletics or when did sports, as in your childhood, when did you start getting into this, or did you not, or what's the story there?
So, I grew up as a soccer player, believe it or not. I actually was a small little runt. So I was a soccer player since I was like 3 years old. When I got in high school, everybody hit their growth spurts and I didn't. And so I was really good, but they wouldn't play me because I was so small. And then eventually I think I was a late bloomer. So when I was my senior, I shot up to 5'10" and I was a twig. Got like all the growing spurt pains and I was like injured a lot. And so finally my dad, who was an ex-Air Force, used to work out all the time, got me in the gym. I hated it. I hated working out, but the amount of respect that you get from putting a little bit of muscle on when I was like a twig and so small, like was just tremendous for me. So I kind of fell in love with that part and getting stronger. And then I fell across, I never really wanted to do bodybuilding. I never had any intentions. It was just, I wanted to get stronger and I wanted like that kind of respect that, I wasn't given during high school. And so I saw a video of Kai Green and I remember it like it was yesterday. I was like, I don't ever want to look like that. And then I started listening to what he would say, right? I would start listening to what he would say. And it was just like, it started growing and started growing. I was like, you know what? I want to look just like that. And I want to be this influential like he is and be able to impact people in a way. And so that was back then when bodybuilding, you could really become like, you're just like, could just put the hoodie on, be a recluse. You didn't really have to do a whole lot. You get sponsored and that's kind of how you made your way. Right. Which is not how it is now, but
no,
that's what I wanted to do. And so I went to college really not knowing how to do anything. I mean, I remember doing like back days and legs and back together for like 5 hours in the gym, like not a clue. And so I knew I wanted to do a show eventually after college, didn't know how to go about it. Found a coach in Stephenville, Texas. He got me on stage. I probably shouldn't have been on stage, honestly.
Oh, no.
He wasn't, I'm not, he just wasn't an experienced coach. Let's put it that way.
What show was it?
Man, I think it was, I honestly think it was Battle.
What year?
Oh, it was like 6 years ago.
2020?
2020-ish.
Yeah, it was a long, and it was one of those experiences where when I like to tell my clients, some people will be like, hey, don't get on stage until you're ready or until you can be competitive. But sometimes if you get on stage and if you're really going to decide whether you want this or not, and you do not very well, like really, really poorly, does it fuel you or does it make you like, it wasn't for me, that was good experience and I'm gone. So for me, it just fueled me, and it just increased the fire that I wanted to become a bodybuilder. And I kept just hunting and more, and just working really hard. Really didn't have the information, didn't have any good guidance to the knowledge on how to do this. And it wasn't until finally I hired Patrick Tour. I got enough money.
Oh, sweet.
I got enough money from COVID to hire Patrick Tour, and I hired him for 2 years and started doing things a little bit more correct. He was the one that actually, I mean, I talk about it all the time, but you know, as a client, I will do whatever you say. I'll eat cardboard. I don't care. And he always wanted some videos, and I told him about it. I was like, sent him a video of me doing bent over rows, and I was like, what's your opinion? Not like saying compare me to James Hollinghead or any of your pros, just like, what do you think of my form? And I mean, he ripped me up like, oh, it was bad. I remember it because it hit it hits your pride and ego, right? You think you know what you're doing.
Course,
And this was when I was working at Weatherford Fitness. At the time when you saw me, it was when I went from not having a coach to having Patrick Tour, so I kind of grew. But
Right.
you know, and so basically, he told me my form was terrible, and I'm very weak compared to my size, and you know, that smack in the face was what caused me to like really dive into, all right, like, what do you mean? Like, how do I train better? How can I learn? And so it really all came from me looking at YouTube videos, breaking down form, with like, you know, Nick Walker, Kai Green, some of the guys that, you know, really know how to move really well, to get to myself to where I am now, to where I'm way better at training, and I can help people and give back in that way. So it's been a long journey of a lot of mistakes, but I'm here.
Right. I feel like I had similar things along the way, man, for sure. So you say your first show was 2020, and you don't have to walk us through the whole anthology, but
we wanted to.
When was what was the next show after that first one, after you popped
So the first one, I mean, I don't. Yeah, maybe it was 2020. So the first one was the next year. I did one show back to back, like the year after the next, for like 2-3 years with the same coach that wasn't a very experienced. You know, I don't know how much we can talk about other extracurriculars on here, but things were just
much as you want, bro.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm wide open. Yeah. In fact, I was gonna say I need guys who will because it's
such a normal thing.
When it came to the PED side, like, he had no idea what he was doing. We had no idea what we were doing when it was a training. When it came to it, he threw the kitchen sink at me. I'm talking, I was running probably 4 or 5 orals during the prep. During off season, it was just anything and everything. Tests, MPP with trend, all of it, high doses for no reason. Wow. There's no like real rhyme or reason. There was no system. There was nothing. It was just, you want to get big, let's take some Anadrol. Regardless of how health numbers, I think it took me probably 4 years of PEDs to where I could like really, where he told me I knew I needed to get help, get blood work. Like, he never told me to get blood work. So I don't even know what this was doing to my body for probably like 4 years.
You probably had such elevated liver enzymes.
I mean, if no one tells you, how do you know? I mean, maybe I was ignorant where I didn't do research. But back in the day, there was no TikTok where you can go to lives and ask people, hey, what are you supposed to do? Right. So that was a big issue. That and just training. He would make me do like 30 to 40 working sets per body group. So I was just beating my body to the ground. And then getting to myself to the stage, right? So in the shows, the preps, I wasn't getting shredded. I was not lean. The second
you can't recover.
We were getting stalled. I was on protein veg, and I was like, I've heard of this whole refeed thing from some YouTube videos. It's like, I'm gonna try it.
You were hungry as shit.
So I did my own little refeed without telling him, and I started losing weight. And I was like, okay, so I don't think he knows what he's doing here. So it's time to like go a different direction. And so that was when I made the decision. I had enough money to do with Patrick Tour, but I did 3 shows with him. The first show I got, I think it was Battle, or maybe it was Texas State. I think I got like second to last. The second show, I got second in that show, but it was one of those shows that was only like 3 or 4 people on the stage, so it was one of those. And then the third one is I got second again and got kind of upset because I felt like I should have won, but it was just, again, I wasn't conditioned. I never got lean enough. I did all the work, and I was doing 2-3 hours of cardio, but it just was not happening. And so that's when I knew I needed to go a different direction. Went with Patrick Tour. And then the whole spiel with Patrick Tour, I mean, he's a great coach. He's very stern. Everything he says, he's very knowledgeable, but I don't know, I'm not trying to throw shade on these pro coaches, but they can only give you so much attention as an amateur when they got a lot of pros. And when it came to me, I felt like we didn't learn from what happened. We did the first show. I think I got third, and we did a depletion stage for my peak where, I mean, we took sodium way, way down. Water was kind of way down, and he had no carbs, and he was making me a depletion for the first 3 days. My body type does not do well with depleting me. Like, I was already depleted. So I was flat as fuck. And then you're going to come and then you're going to give me like a little bit of carbs. And then on top of that, a diuretic. Like, I'm never going to peak. Ever. Like, I'm someone that I need about like 1,000 grams of carbs. Like, currently over the past, year or two, I pushed my carbs up to like 1,200 grams to grow, being able to stay lean. And so we did that show, got third. Then I got second at the next following year, and we did the same peak. And that was kind of my decision. I would ask him, I was like, hey, what do you feel? How do you feel about it? He's like, oh, we did good. We did good. It was a good, we peaked you good. And I was like, man, Patrick, I ate 27 donuts after that show, and I lost weight the next day. Like, we did not peak me. We didn't get me there.
Like the next day you were.
I couldn't feel my muscles. I couldn't feel a pump. So it's like, all right, so I got to move another direction. I can't sit and spend another however much it is for Patrick for another year and get the same results. And then that moves me to Matt Jensen. I got Matt Jensen 3 years ago.
Dallas's old
first
dude?
Year. The idea was to do nationals, and it was this was, I guess, a stage of my life where I had to have somebody give me a reality check of the quality of athletes that go on at stage on national shows. And so after the year of actually training with Matt, I asked him, like, are we going to do prep for nationals? And he's like, realistically, do you think you're going to win that show? And I was like, it's like another hit in the pride. I was like, I mean, I think I could do well. I don't know. What you tell me? You're the coach. And he's like, I think we need to hold off and do another year, do a cut phase, get you lean, and then reassess. So that's what we did. 2 years with him before I got on stage with Matt, and that was with Texas State. And that was when I got to Texas State. I won the overall at Texas State. His peaking process was completely different. I mean, this is when things started doing more of a correct way with drugs and stuff.
Right.
But the only problem with Matt Jensen is I don't know if you want me to throw shade or expose, but everything that
I'll
happened
say it if you don't.
with Nick Walker, when he had the falling out, he couldn't go to the Olympia because he had to pull out. That was when I was 3 weeks out from my Texas State show.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of like, he's being neglectful and he's not being the coach he was before. And should I continue with what he's telling me to do and all this stuff? And a lot of the stuff was on point of what you hear, but at the time it's like, I paid all this money. I got to go all in, and I can't just dip out 3 weeks, and just go to a different coach. I got to stick with it. So stuck with it. I won the overall at Texas State, which was good. Went to nationals. I got 6 at nationals in the heavies, and talking to him afterwards, it was like a decision. Basically, like I didn't feel like he cared enough, and I didn't feel like he put enough time in to listen to what I wanted, because I don't think my height at 5'11", I should be a heavy competing against guys in the nationals when I had a lot of holes, because they're just competing against guys who are like 5'4", 5'5", that are the same weight. I was at the top of my class, 223 on stage. So I think I needed to jump into the supers and try to grow. We had different opinions, and then we split. So I've been doing things on my own now.
That's funny. I had the same issue, like it being a heavyweight bodybuilder, like being 5'10" and a half. And then when I'm lean, I'm 5'11". Oh, you can't hear us? I'm so sorry. 1 second. Can y'all hear me, girls?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. One second. I can edit this out. Damn, I wonder what happened. I'll tell him hop out, hop back in. Well, we
In
fixed
here
it.
now.
I'll clip all that out because you were so smooth.
Okay,
And,
because I couldn't hear you if y'all wanted me to keep going, or so I just give you the all.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Well, let's see. Shit. So next, when are you heading to nationals? You heading there this December?
So yes, I started prep. I'm 16 weeks out from battle. So
Okay.
Do well at battle, then I'm gonna make that decision whether I step on stage for nationals the next weekend, or just keep the qualification and just grow a little bit. At this point, I feel like it's time to just go to nationals when you're gonna get your
When
pro
you
card.
feel like you're gonna get it. Yeah.
Like I went to nationals. I felt what it feels like. I love the competitiveness. Like honestly, like that's that's kind of why I wanted to get a pro. I know it really doesn't matter, but I want to be a pro in Texas for some reason. So I think that's if I'm not in the 240s, close to on peak and look good with being able to hold my own, I'll probably shut it down and then just grow and get ready for nationals next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
So who's coaching you now? Are you coaching yourself, or did you?
Yeah, I'm coaching myself. So I started after the whole Matt Jensen story and how it kind of had a falling out because he kind of had like some accusations that I was trying to extort information from him, which really wasn't. He was upset because at the time I was moving to Weatherford. So I was this whole period I've been all over the Texas, like Granbury. Then I went to Stephenville. Then I went to Weatherford. Then went back to Granbury, and now I'm back to Weatherford. And so I was moving at the time, and I was telling him, I was like, look, I just can't afford another full year. I mean, Matt Jensen's expensive. And so
I've heard.
Yeah. And so he got upset with me and then claimed that I was extorting information from him when all he really told me at the time was what you should tell a client how to get healthy after a show. So we kind of had a falling out. And so that kind of, to me, that wasn't cool. I don't think he should do that. I think I was like his only client that stuck with him afterwards. Because I think he's doing cycling. I really don't know exactly what he's doing, but at the time, some dude asked him if he was still coaching, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Eric is my client." I'm like, "Bro, I'm the only one. You're supposed to be a pro coach."
Maybe he just wants like a couple of stragglers to get a little bit of money. I'll go ahead and I'm not trying to talk shit about Matt Jensen or anything too in depth, but let's not forget our old buddy Dallas. Yeah. And there's and I'm not trying to say that there's anything going on with his coaching that contributes to that. Bodybuilding's like Formula One racing, we know that. But the big thing that's where he kind of got famous was when he was coaching him, and he was also competing in nationals, getting third call out. And so later on in life, I'm at the Mid-Atlantic Classic, and I'm in the heavyweight class, and I think I'm winning this thing. Boy, I got 45 fucking place. I got my ass kicked, but my buddy Jimmy was training with him, and I started to hear the nickname Casper because he will ghost you. And so that was what I was scared you might have said. And now we're not really talking shit on this kind of channel, but we're the 1000th show to say it. So that's why he's left coaching, because it's eventually you can't outrun that. And when you're that expensive and you're buying $20,000 watches and shit, it's like, okay, what's up with that? Baby, you got any questions?
Let's see.
I want to know, and maybe I'll edit this out if we don't want to keep it in here. Clients, packages. Now, in the gym industry world, you never say prices over the phone. You never put prices on pamphlets and billboards. You make them hit them up. And then from there, you talk to them, and then you figure out what rate would be good for them. But for people watching, a lot of new bodybuilders are going to be following the page. People looking to do shows and stuff that are in the Fort Worth area, even though you're an online coach, you work with anybody, anywhere. And, if it's not too much, I'll edit this out if we don't want to keep it. But how much do rates go? What kind of things do you offer? Solely online? Are there different packages? In person? I see you training people in person too at the gym. What does that look like? I know you already have existing clients. So I was curious. Just
So
for everyone out there.
I got So for coaching right now, it's I'm not very expensive. And it's not because I don't believe myself. I just want to earn my stripes, right? So
Okay.
I got 2 guys that are competing this coming weekend. I think they're going to do really well. I got another girl who's a figure girl. For some reason, girls are intimidated of me. They don't want to come out to me, or maybe they don't think but I'm very well versed for females. I've heard a lot of horror stories when it comes to coaches with females, and it's scary.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing with that because they don't, they feel like men don't understand their cycles with the PEDs and
And hormones in general.
So I have a girl who was a pro powerlifter that came to me, and we're gonna get her on stage for figure. I think she's gonna do real well. And then I got a couple other classic guys, but for right now, my month to month, I do either month to month or I do bundles, and I just try to help in any way I can. So the month to month is just $200 a month. The bundles, are going to depend on what you pair together, and it's going to be a discount based on that. For me, so like after the whole idea of me hiring these expensive coaches was obviously to do well and build my physique, but to learn. I wanted to learn
of
from
course.
the processes and really the peaking, right? Like that stuff is the secret information, the secret sauce nobody likes to give away. But I got peaking processes from Patrick and Matt, and as well as I've done, and I bought the whole J2 University, which was really awesome, pretty informative. I did all of everything that he has to offer, the level 1, the female, and then the hypertrophy. And I've kind of just brought everything together to my own kind of style of coaching. And so I love to do personal training because I think as much as it's great to give instructions to a client, you can only go so far. If you're going to make a champion, you're going to have to teach them how to do the work or train. So the best way for me to do that is to me be in the gym with you and train you and show you what true failure is, or how to hit a muscle correctly, or hit a muscle that you're trying to develop, because not everybody goes in the gym and can activate their lats just by you telling them, hey, do a pull down. They all have this weird interpretation of what it is. So I do a lot of, I don't like the name personal training because I think it's a bad rap for what people think of it. But I love to get in there and I will train with them. I charge because I do a lot of at AR, 100 a session, or it depends on the bundle if you buy, because you got to pay the gym. But at that gym,
it's a great gym though. It's so great place to train. Tons of space.
Easy. It's so easy to put people on muscle there because you got all the state-of-the-art equipment, right? It's not.
You got big dudes like you walking around everywhere.
It's a huge gym. They have pretty much every piece of equipment you can think of. So.
Yes. Definitely equipment that I didn't even think existed. I feel like sometimes they're reaching for this new stuff that I've never even. It's like, wow.
Glute machines, new pendulums, and. I love that though. I was going there just for a little bit because I was working on that side of town, and I was like, dude, this is why everybody. You can video in here. You can take your shirt off. They got lights all in the ceilings and stuff. I was like, we will be there to come film you. We will come do that. That is going to happen for sure. No, man. Biggest reason why I was kind of interested in pardon me for even doing this, was I'm actually looking for a coach this year. So based off everything that we talked about, man, I really like everything that you're doing. And when we hop off later offline, we'll talk a little bit more about getting me ready for the Ronnie Coleman in May. Okay. So if you I'll be 40 years old next June, and I'll be able to give myself one more shot at anything at a national level in masters divisions and stuff. But we'll let you take a look at me, and you can break my heart. And and I think that'd be great. You have a very similar physique to mine, height wise and structure wise. I think Nikki even agrees.
I do.
And so it's good to hear from the horse's mouth. A lot of coaches out there, when it comes to big guys, you'll see certain guys that seem to work really well with big guys. And Chad Nichols has all the dudes that are 5'10" and above and 300 pounds. And he seems to do real well peaking those guys. He seems to do real well feeding those guys. But my biggest problem is I am too strict and too hardcore on the diet. And I've recently been able to tell myself to stop doing so much cardio. And so that's something that me and you can take a look at when you know, take a look back and front, up and down, and you can be like, all right, yeah. You don't need to be doing an hour of stairs. You know, like, I get you were fat last week, but like, you know, you need to chill.
I can attest for his diet, so
yeah, I can diet very hardcore, and I can do a lot of hardcore exercises. And my problem is overtraining.
Terrible.
And so for the clients that I train, I take a lot of new guys off the street, and I take a lot of natural competitors and stuff. I try not to ever, like yourself, I had a, you know, background in competing in the NPC, but I didn't want to like be too pretentious and, you know, start claiming that I'm putting pros. I'll guarantee a pro card and all these different mythologies that exist out there in the coaching world. So I've always been
good luck saying that anyway, because you don't know how that client's going to react to anything. Half these clients can't follow their diet, let alone, you know.
Oh my, there we go. There is the next line of questioning here. All right. So we got about 20 more minutes and we'll cut you out of here. But dude, we're all coaches, we're all bodybuilders, et cetera. What would you do if you had a client, and this is not picking on any of my past clients and stuff, that you sent them their diet every week, you send them their cardio, whatever, you send them their workout, you know, you play Frankenstein with their workouts, you take, you add, whatever, emphasize, send them YouTube videos, and you know for a fact they're not doing a goddamn thing you said. What would you do with this client in a professional manner without chewing him too hard? How would you handle that if every week I was sending you my pictures in my underwear?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't follow it at all last week. Here I am.
Right.
Fix me.
What would you do?
So this is where like I like to go further as a coach. I understand that it can be very, very surface with some coaches where you don't build a relationship with your client. And so I'm going to build a relationship. Like, I'm going to ask you questions. Another one thing I ask is your why. Like, why do you do this? So then when this happens and you're not doing what I'm telling you to do, or I think you're not, you tell me you're doing what you're supposed to do, but it's not showing, because I literally had that happen to me. We're going to have a talk, and I'm going to pull that string, and I'm going to, if it's your kid, I'm going to tell you, like, why are you fucking up? Like, you told me you're going to do this for your kid. Why are you not eating your food? Or why does it look like you're not eating? Or send me pictures of your food. I'm a very like stern when it comes to that.
I've done that.
Once you hit that point, now if I build a relationship and we're cool, like, and I know you're doing it, like, I'm a nice guy. But I think a coach has to be a coach. I can't just be a friend. I can't just be someone that's just taking your money. I want to build.
There's a line that you have to walk.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And it's like, I want to build champions. And if you come to me and you're like, hey, I want to do something that is going to take this much, you know, extreme amount of, you know, commitment and energy, and you tell me, I'm going to do it for my kid, I'm going to do it for this, and then you don't do it. It's like, well, now I have to pull that string. And if I lose you, then okay, what are you going to tell your person? Like, oh, he got onto me because I didn't eat this food I was supposed to be eating, or this, and use my kid as it's like, I'm supposed to do that. That's why you pay me this. And if the end, it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I gave you my everything, right? And so I kind of look at it as like that, where like the whole thing with Patrick, I'm sure he probably didn't care to smack me in the face when he told me I had a terrible form, but it changed me, right? It was like almost like a little fork in the road that really got me to where I am now. So if I don't do that for somebody, I feel like I didn't give my all to that person. And so I have by no means, it's not hard for me to tell you,
because
you got to get on your food.
The truth is all that's going to work, right? You know,
right.
You can't sugarcoat stuff, or they never change. And, you know, and I'm glad that we talked a little bit about your rates. You know, other guys out there that are coaching and stuff, you know, if I'm going to say something, a long time ago, I used to charge very, very, very low. And I think that's why I would have, every once in a while, a bunch of guys that were doing absolutely nothing that we were supposed to be doing. And it's like, because anybody can afford, like, I'll just say like $100 a month. Yeah. A guy that's full of shit can pay $100 a month to send me pictures of him in his underwear. It's such
and then
a
he's going to tag
dynamic.
you in every single post.
Right. That's why I haven't been doing the Instagram thing, you know, because I didn't want to get pulled into that, you know.
Right.
And I've seen, you know, coaches out there, you know, that they stop working with somebody, and then the client has some weird social media meltdown about it, coming to grips with the term. You know, that's like, if you didn't tag him so much and embarrass him with all your butthole pictures and stuff in the mirrors, then maybe he wouldn't think he needed to separate himself because he's got a wife and shit. And you're bending over, and you're, you know, it's like I can see everything. Right. You're sending this to, and it's not just your check-in photos. You're getting all the gym check-ins in the mirrors or whatever. You know, I'm kind of making up
the workout pictures and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
So vain today. Things are getting serious.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hell, man. No, I'm super excited. You say 6 weeks.
16
weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna go quick though.
I was gonna be like, bro, you must be shredded right now. I was like, you haven't even gotten pissed off the whole 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like 6 weeks out, it's like everything makes you mad a little bit. But how are you before the shows? You know, like,
it's hard. It goes back into the coaching history. So and why I became a coach is they never learned my body. So just throwing it out there, my body doesn't aromatize till I start touching 1,200 milligrams of test. I don't need AIs until then. Well, for the whole time I was with Patrick and Matt, they were making me run AIs at lower doses of test. So for the longest time, I've had 0 estrogen. Like, I had no estrogen because they were tanking it. And so when we're moving into prep, we're moving into prep. You know, I was taking with Matt, I was taking half a tab of Rimidex every other day, and then it moved to every day. And so I obviously I felt like shit, but I thought this is normal. I'm a type of person that likes, you know, when it gets hard, I get excited. Like, I like things to be difficult. So then when I eat donuts, when I eat donuts afterwards, I earned that donut. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't really think anything of it. But once you start learning more about what estrogen does for dudes and how important it is, it's like I wasted a lot of time in off seasons, you know, with low estrogen, or they didn't learn my body. And so right now I'm fine. I mean, after my last show in nationals, you know, I've been doing my own thing. I've been feeling relatively lean, titrating my food up. I got up to, before I started this prep, to like 8,200 calories, where I was kind of like pushing the food, right? Yeah.
Wow.
Pushing the food to where, like, you know, that's just what was kind of needed for me to get my body up. I was a 258 by the end of it. And then now I'm losing weight off of 7,100 calories. So I'm happy right now. There's
I like how Rob's
we
like,
gotta talk, bro. My calories have been kind of low. We gotta talk.
Just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I got fat as shit after we had our baby in August.
Yeah.
And I was in prep for like the Ronnie or something that my boys just did this past, like, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And once I got promoted at work, and it was just, I mean, hell, Corinne even came and visited. I was just gone all the time.
Yep.
And so was the diet. And, you know, and Nikki would even help me. Like, I would take the meals to work and stuff, but it was just, it'd be one of those things where I'd be in like a guard shack for 12 hours. And I'd just be like, I don't give a shit right now. You know, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it just absolutely sucked. And I've been eating this way for 20 years. I'm 39, you know, so I started this when I was 18. So it's, you know, I've been eating on a diet of some kind for so long that I finally kind of did that. And so I just weighed in at like 251. But, bro, I was like almost 300 probably around February. Now, I hold it well because I just built big, but, you know, you'll see. But
built different.
Yeah, I built like Cartman from South Park, but big boned. No, but you'll see. I've been 207 was my first show. Then I've been 211, 219. And then I've gotten all the way down for classic down to 205. And they said I was an inch taller than I was. So they were like, you could have been 212. And I'm like, no, I'm not 5'11.25 or above. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm lucky to even hit that 5'11. I gotta grow. I gotta Pinocchio myself a little bit or whatever. And so,
hang upside down for a while.
Yeah, so I'm excited, man. I'm gonna hit you up a little later, and then we'll talk later this week and stuff. But this has been a great interview. Girls, you got any questions or anything for Eric?
So what would you say to somebody who is totally looking to do a show and is excited about their first show? Like, what is the biggest tip or like piece of advice, little snippet that you could give somebody?
So I get this question a lot, and I really focus on the mind. Bodybuilding is so physical, but it's really more mind, in my opinion, especially in prep. So protecting your mind is the best thing you can do in prep. Turn off Instagram. Stop looking and comparing yourself to all the people that are photoshopped on Instagram or have great, perfect lighting with pumps. Don't look at yourself in the mirror constantly. Don't, constantly looking like, did something change today, or my weight or whatever. If you have a coach, give full trust to the process, but then can protect your mind and have a way of either venting, or I know it's kind of lame, but journaling or whatever, a way to get energy and bad stuff out of you, so you're not just festering and it's not causing you to have negative mindset or whatever it is. Because I'm a big person when it comes to the mind. Like, a lot of people that make stuff happen is because they literally believe it and manifest it. And then when it comes to the body, if you're telling yourself, oh, I don't have the genetics, or that dude has better genetics, you're already going to lose. You need to go, if you want to be competitive, you want to be a pro card, you got to be the best. You got to be 1 or 2. So you have to have that mindset of like, I'm the best, and get everything away from you that is causing you to not think that. And that's, social media is the worst thing for somebody who's in prep. I mean, shut that shit off. Like,
oh yeah.
Yep.
I tell my girls
I mean, all these people, they sit there and change the lighting on their picture, and they bring the shadows up to bring all their lines out. And it's like, you get to the show and you look at them and they're like, they don't even look like they did in the picture they took yesterday. And I was happening
a lot. I know you've been seeing that a lot, bro, where people look like Mr. fucking Universe.
Yeah.
And then they show up and it's like, wah, wah, wah. They look like a bunch of floppy dicks up there, all gray. Like the tan ain't even right. They're all green looking. Rolling around in the mud.
Yeah. I mean,
but I agree with you 100% about the mind. Like, if you give yourself a positive mindset, your body will follow.
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, you see it all the time. Like, you see like these Instagram warriors where they look like they're Mr. Olympia on Instagram, but then they talk all this crap and then they step next to someone who's real, and then they're like 6th or 5th. It's like, you just cannot look at that and think anything of it, because you don't know until you step on the stage. Until you stand next to the person, especially for people who are like taller guys. Like I guess I can be considered a taller guy in bodybuilding.
But over 5'9".
Anything,
like,
you ain't no short king.
You're taller than Mr. Olympia. You're tall. You know, like,
because
right now that's not hard. I guess.
If you look at someone like a Steve Kuklo, or
he's like
Steve Kuklo is the best one. He doesn't look great in pictures in Instagram, but then he will destroy you if you stand next to him. So it's like, you just can't have that in your head. You got to be positive. Your mind will destroy your body so quick.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I've experienced that too, where I just too many low calories for too long back in the day, and I'd burn out big time. And it's like, get ready for another show, Steve. You're at your worst right now. Like, no,
why not?
Eat some food, bro, and like get yourself, back to a cruise control and stuff. That's like with my clients that I work with. That's the biggest advice I have, is just from all the things I've done wrong in the past. I'm like, just don't do that.
Don't do what I do. You'll be fine.
Smacking the hand with the ruler some. Well, I guess what we could say, and I guess you summed it up a lot, was people have the tendency to get a little manic, whether it's with what they're looking at or even what they're putting out. You see people get in the prep zone, and we've seen people kind of go a little manic before prep. They start posting a lot of pictures. Lots of pictures, and they're creating something in their head. I think that they're on the stair climber for an hour a day. They're disappearing. They're going to another land while they're getting through that shit, and then they kind of get pulled away from like reality, a little bit, I think. And and you start to, like you said, the social media, you start putting all that stuff out there, and it's like, even though you might not really be doing anything wrong, you might not like them pictures in about 5 years, or just the way you went about it. Just it wasn't quite as professionally put out there, or showing a little too much here or there. Like
the internet is forever.
Yeah. People that haven't put themselves in a position where they've done it in a way that's classy and all the good things, whatever.
Yeah.
But Nikki, you have any other questions for our dude before we cut him free for the day?
What's like one body part that you struggled with growing? Just because you're 5'11", I'm just curious as to where you feel like you're lacking a little bit.
So, I mean, I feel like my calves will never be big enough, but that's different. I think shoulders was very difficult for me to try to cap off. I still don't think they'll be big enough. I always want to have like big Phil Heath shoulders. It's something that like I look at, the first body group I will look at will be shoulders. And I think for my physique, it's something that the bigger I can get the shoulders, the more width I can have to keep that V taper and stuff going. Because all the food I got to eat, Yeah. So really what helped me with shoulders is just kind of learning how to get, I'm a torso guy. So I got chest and back, getting my arms off my body when I train so my body doesn't take over. That was probably one of the best things. And then pulling back on volume, because I'm someone that I'll kill myself and do too much.
Yeah, and it doesn't recover.
Trying to pump it up all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering if your shoulders are a little longer, because I'm guessing your arms are pretty long, being as tall as you are. So it's so hard to get the muscles that are longer to grow.
Yeah, and that and I've always had a idea like Flextron. I'm a big bodybuilder, like enthusiast. Like I know all the pros. Like his shoulders when he beat Phil Heath were unreal. Kevin Larone, those shoulders. I always have that in my mind. So they'll never be big enough.
Yeah. Well, me and Steve met Phil Heath. Was at the Phil Heath show we went to, and he's actually a lot shorter than I thought he was.
Really?
Yeah.
His arms are still huge.
It's so funny seeing him. Yeah, his arms are massive. It is funny though when you see a guy who's 5'8", and it's he's lost the size he had that made him so huge. He's normal, muscular professional now, if you will, and but his arms, when he held that microphone, they still looked like legs on the side of his. And it's funny because just standing next to you, it doesn't look like that.
Right.
Like just standing in the front, like his arms look just as flat as mine, but then like once you walk around to the side, it's like, God, dog, there's so much going on there that he's still got.
Yeah. And he had that opposite. He had the issue with small shredded after a show. So he had to have bigger shoulders to make his width. So, but
I feel like he had a really good setup. Like they say, it is a short guy sport. So anytime you're over 5'9",
it's so much harder to shine.
I don't know what. I guess for females, if you're over 5'3", probably.
Nikki.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're practically giants.
We are, especially standing on stage. I mean, everybody that you're competing with is like 5'0" nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm over here at 5'6", just towering over these chicks with my heels on.
It's so funny. It's a lot of that does come down to
put mass on.
Right, and a lot of it comes down to camera angles too, because some of these people that you see, they're like, "Oh, you've got to be like this tall," and you meet them, and you're like, "Oh, you're that tall." Like,
well, yeah, you look at this chick on, and you think, "Oh, she's pretty tall," and then you meet them, and they're like 5 foot. You're like, "Oh, well, thanks."
Yeah,
that's why it's such there is so much illusion to it, because like I always just thought like Phil Heath would be Ronnie's height, just looking at him. I'm like, no, he's like Ronnie's height. It's like, no, he's a little shorter than him, actually, But and when they're all shredded like that, too, everything goes from being 3-dimensional to 2-dimensional when you're looking at them. So if you look 3-dimensional, obviously you're accomplishing the whole point of the thing, right? But even when they're 2 inches different, they still don't look that different in height. But when you're standing next to them and you're like looking down some, it's like, oh, I guess I don't feel that small after all, but then it wouldn't look the same up there, like, oh my God, I'd get my ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because of how much quality is there and how small that waist will still be, even at that height, their waist coming in, and it just still keeps it checks off all the boxes still. But
yeah.
All right, guys. So if you're looking for somebody to get you ready for the nationals, get you ready for your local NPC shows, and you're not one of my guys, don't you leave me. I'm just playing. Don't you switch coaches, you motherfuckers. Look up Eric Johnson, online coach. You got him on Instagram right here. You'll see his technically it's Mr. Texas, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I know you don't walk around saying that, I'm sure. It ain't in your bio, so I knew you were cool. Actually, I'll be funny real quick before I cut you free. It was a long time ago, Weatherford Fitness. Here I am, some retired bodybuilder who's doing something else with his life. And I'm at the gym and you were leaving, and I was like, let me see if this dude's cool real quick. And I did like this, and you did the thing back, and I was like, all right. He's cool. I'll hit him up one day. So full circle, right? Here we are.
Full circle.
All right, man. Well, hey guys, everyone watching, thank you so much. Real quick shout out to Eric Johnson. Hit him up on Instagram. And again, this was ifbb Pro Corinne Butler, ifbb Pro Nikki Blackman, and myself, Steve. And we will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much.